Fabric login. If you already know a little about IP networking but are new to Fibre Channel, I think you'll really enjoy this lecture because it shows you the magic of Fibre Channel, how it allows servers to automatically discover and connect to the storage. The first thing to tell you about is switch domain ID. In Fibre Channel, a switch domain ID is assigned to an individual switch. So each MDS switch in your network is going to have its own unique switch domain ID, and that's how a switch is identified in a network. One switch in the network will be automatically assigned by default as a principal switch. With Fibre Channel, pretty much everything happens automatically and information gets replicated automatically as well. You can override that and set things manually if you want to, but out of the box, everything is pretty much automatic. So, by default, one of the switches will be elected as the principal switch, and its job is to make sure all of the other switches have their own unique domain IDs. Each switch learns about the other switches in the network and how to route to them based on their domain IDs. So, the domain ID information is replicated throughout the network. All of the switches will learn about the other switches and their domain IDs. Next thing to note about is FLOGI or Fabric Login. When a servers and storage systems HBAs come online, it sends a FLOGI Fabric Login request to its directly attached MDS Fibre Channel switch. That switch will then assign it a 24-bit FCID Fibre Channel ID address. The FCID assigned to host is made up of domain ID and the switch port the host is plugged into. The FCID is similar to an IP address but not exactly the same. We mentioned in the earlier series that the WWPN is exactly like a MAC address in Ethernet, while FCID does the same job as an IP address. It's an address used to route traffic around, but it doesn't quite work the way the IP does. The FCID is used by FC switches to route traffic between servers and their storage, and switches maintain a table of FCID to WWPN address mappings and which port host it's located on. The next thing that happens is that the information will be shared with the other switches in the network. So the Fibre Channel switches share the FLOGI database information with each other using FCNS Fibre Channel namespace. Each switch in the network learns that information that was in FLOGI database, where each WWPN is, and how to route traffic there because each switch knows about the other switches in their domain ID. Because FCID is based on the domain ID as the first part, now all of our switches know how to send traffic to all of the different WWPNs in the network. After the FLOGI Fabric login process is complete, the initiator will send PLOGI, which is port login. Based on the zoning config on the switch, the host will learn its available target WWPNs. The next step that happens is a PRLI, which is process login. So finally, the initiator host will send a PRLI process login to its target storage at the far end. The storage system will grant access to the host based on its configured LAN masking. So you saw all the magic of the Fibre Channel that happened automatically, but the WWPNs are already set because we have burned it on the card. The administrators don't need to set those, and everything with the FLOGin process happen automatically. As long as you have configured your zoning on your MDS switches, you have set all your LANs on the storage systems. You really don't need to configure anything on your server. It will automatically discover and connect to its LANs just like magic.